With that, I'm going to open it up for questions. I will say this, we have a primary next week. Macy for Congress is my website. There's a lot of information in there. You'll find out there's over 110 endorsements. All right, not from the Republican Party, too. I mean, the Republican Party has endorsed, but there's a tremendous amount of endorsements in it. Please take a look at it, and you'll see all the endorsements I've had. And at this point in time, I would open up for questions.
Yeah, you've got 10 minutes. What is the purpose of the federal government?
I think I answered that. The purpose of the federal government, of course, is to protect our freedoms, and I believe that that is the number one purpose. It also has to look over interstate commerce, but the number one reason is to protect our freedoms. And I, for one, would like to eliminate a lot of these programs we have up at the federal government that do all these things that they're not supposed to do. You know, I heard EPA and some of the other things. We have an Ohio EPA. We have a federal EPA. Let's push it back to the states and let the states take care of this. And let's eliminate some of these programs with the federal government.
Right. How do you think we can help bring back jobs to the 16th district?
That's a great question, and I can tell you the only answer. Now, I'm a small businessman. I still have 3 small businesses. I'm not going to hire a soul. All right, why am I not going to hire a soul? You don't have to reduce taxes today for me to hire somebody. You know what you have to do? You have to give me predictability and certainty. And that's what the federal government is not doing right now. The federal government is out there. We don't know what our health care costs are. We don't know what our tax liability is going to be as a small business owner. We don't know the effective cap and trade. By the way, I will also tell you this. Any congressman that votes for cap and trade in Ohio needs to never see Washington, D.C. again unless he's on vacation. So, the answer is predictability and certainty. Get government off our back. Get them out of the banking industry right now so that we can see that we're not going to be taxed, that we're not going to be hit with health care. I just met with my nursing home. I still have one nursing home. And I met with all the employees about this size group. I showed them all the numbers because I always believe in openness. And I said to them, cap and trade is going to cost me 25% more on my utility bill. Healthcare bill is going to cost me. I says, do you understand why we can't employ anybody else? We need predictability and certainty because the American people are smart enough and business owners are smart enough that if they know what the game is, they'll be able to figure out how to employ people. But until the certainty and predictability is taken out of the situation, the uncertainty and unpredictability, we're never going to be able to employ people.
Since Congress, is there a point at which you would be supportive of a VAT or a national sales tax? If so, what conditions would have to be in place?
Well, you already heard my answer on taxes. I believe we're overtaxed. We're taxed to death. We have too many taxes, and therefore I would never support a VAT tax. All right. Now, I would say that I do believe in a fair tax, but I also believe that the hardest thing to do with a fair tax is implementation, and we'll need to be able to figure out how to do that. But I have been working with a lot of fair tax people over the last 6 months because implementation is going to be a concern, and that will be the big issue.
Okay. Since Congress pushed health care through, several states have filed suit in their respective courts to remove the funding or deem it unconstitutional. Are you in favor of either of these tactics, and would you be supportive of the repeal at the U.S. congressional level?
Well, the answer I already said is yes, but I think it's an impossibility. Although I will tell you, Hugh Hewitt, I don't know how many people know who Hugh Hewitt is. He came in to support me last week. He's also an attorney. By the way, I'm not an attorney, and I'd say that's another qualification of somebody else to come. Hugh Hewitt came in and actually did a town hall with me, and then I had the pleasure of being on stage with Hugh Hewitt and Michael Medved, and listening to Hugh Hewitt, he indicated that he believes that the health care bill is unconstitutional. He's already filed a lawsuit and believes that it'll take over a year. So the answer to your question, I believe we should push forward. I wish we had an attorney general here in Ohio that agreed. Of course, that's not the case.
Supported by Soros.
I'm sorry?
Supported by Soros.
Right. And so I do think that that's a goal that we do need to do. But I also believe when I get into Congress, the first thing I would do would be part of that team, part of that conservative team that was going to work to defund the health care bill.
The floor is yours.
At one point, we've heard months of directly hourly about the health care bill, but I think now it's a health care law.
It is a health care law. Exactly.
What's your thoughts on eminent domain for these cities taking private property?
I've always said that eminent domain is a necessity for cities whenever it becomes a purpose for health, safety, and security. And those would be the only reasons.
How much money have you received from the Stark County Republican Party in Canton?
Zero. The Stark County Republican Party doesn't have any money. I mean, I think you all have to understand the Stark County Republican Party, the Medina County Republican Party, the Wayne County Republican Party, and the Ashland County Republican Party. I don't know about Ashland because I haven't dealt too much with them, but they don't have any money to give you. So the Republican parties have not given me a dime.